Hello students. In last session we have discussed about the force analysis of worm gear drive and introduction related to worm gear drive. Now we'll solve one numerical related to worm gear drive. But before starting with that, here are few formulas related to worm gear which will be helpful for us to solve the numerical related to worm gear drive. That is P2T is equal to P1A, second case P2A is equal to P1A and P2R is equal to P1R. These are the formulas which were used or derived from earlier session. Next thing, first formula very much important, that is Z1 slash Z2 slash Q slash M. This will be the designation used for the worm gear. Now what does it represents? That is Z1 is nothing but teeth on the worm, Z2 will be the teeth on worm gear, Q will be the diametral quotient which is given as d1 upon m, and d1 is nothing but the pitch circle diameter, and where m you know that it is module, whereas lead angle will be equal to tan of gamma is equal to z1 upon q. Likewise tangential formula knows, then torque and P1T, P1A and P1R, same formulas which were derived for last session. Now one numerical we'll discuss, that is a pair of worm wheel is designated as 360 10 6. That means 3 z1 60 z2 10 q and 6 will be m. Then the worm transmitting 5 kilowatt power at 1440 rpm of the worm wheel, and the coefficient of friction is given again 0.1, and the normal pressure angle is 20 degree. Now determine the components of gear tooth, forces acting on the worm and worm wheel. So following data is asked. So what if you want to solve this? So what is the given thing? First thing is power, that is 5 kilowatt. Next thing we have given the rpm, so we'll write down eta as 1440 rpm. Next thing we have given coefficient of friction, so it is nothing but mu 0.1. Next thing pressure angle alpha is provided 20 degree. Then we know that this will be z1, that is 3, z2 will be equal to 60, and diametral quotient 10, and next module is equal to 6. Now to find out, target is to find out the component of forces, that means P1 axial force, tangential force, and that is P1A, P1T and P1R is to be found out. This is our target. Now to solve this, what we have to do, first we know that one formula, that is d1 is nothing but q into m, because q was equal to d1 upon m, so we'll get d1. So what is d1? Q is nothing but 10 into modulus 6, so this will be 60 mm. So what we have got this d1 pitch circle diameter. Next thing, after getting this value we can find out second tan of gamma. Tan of gamma is given as z1 upon q, which is equal to z1 was 3 and q was 10, so it will be 0.3. So therefore if you have to find out gamma, we'll get gamma as 16.7 degree lead angle. Next one we have to go for torque, that is mt. Formula was 10 into 6 into kilowatt divided by 2 pi n, where n1 will be used. So 60 into 10 to power 6 into kilowatt is nothing but we have 5 divided by 2 pi into rpm is 1440. So when you resolve this, you will get one value of mt. I am having that value, so I will directly write down now 133,157.28 Newton mm. Next thing, fourth formula you have to use is P1T. First target is to find out P1T, that is in this case now first factor will find out P1T, which will be equal to twice mt d1. both values we are having, so we can just write down these values. mt is over here 33157.28 divided by d1 we were having 60, so p1t will be equal to 1105.24 Newton. Likewise, we can find out P1A. Now for finding out P1A, we have to take the ratio of this equation. So we are having P1A is equal to P cos of alpha into cos of. So when we consider P1A upon P1T, that means this ratio we can consider. So what we can write down as P1A upon P1T, which is equal to this ratio. So by considering this ratio, directly I will write down P1T over here. So P1T will come over here into cos of alpha into cos of gamma minus mu sine of gamma, that is P1A divided by PT, that is cos of alpha into cos of gamma, sorry, we have it is sine of gamma plus mu cos of gamma. So we have this ratio. So from this equation I think we can find out P1A. Just substitute all the values. We have all the values over here. So what will be P1A? I will directly write them the value. It will be equal to 2632.55 Newton. Next factor we have to go for is, suppose sixth one, we have to go for radial. So again for radial, what we have is radial equation is given as P1R is equal to P sine of alpha, this equation. So from this equation we have to equate it with, now what factor we are having? We are having again tangential value, this one. So again we can equate this divided by P1T. So P1R divided by P1T. So what will have? P into this equation, that is cos of gamma sine of gamma plus mu cos of gamma. Now we are having this equation. So just simplifying this, we'll write P1T into this equation, that is P sine of alpha divided by P cos of alpha into sine of gamma plus mu cos of gamma. So substituting the values, we can find out P1R. Substitute all the values of alpha we have, gamma we have found out, and P1T we know. So we can substitute and we'll get P1R. Directly I am having the value, so I will write down it Newton. That is 1033.35 Newton. So now after getting this value, we know that we have this formula P2, and equating all this we can get all the values on the worm gear. Now we have got values of P1A, P1T and P1R, and when we equate this we'll get the last value. So directly we have P1R, so this value can be substituted over here, and which will be equal to P2R. Next one we have P1A, this one, and it is equal to P2T, and last one we have P1T, that is this one. So we can find out actual value. So likewise all the values we can get it. So question was the same. What was asked? You have to find out all these factors on worm, whereas on second, that is P2A, P2T and P2R, all these values we can get in this way. So this type of numerical will be asked in examination for at least 6 marks. So very much easy numerical. You can also try the unsolved numerical again much more. So thank you for this session.